Dr. Zina Jarrahi Cinker, the Executive Director of the National Graphene Association, on day 2 of the American Graphene Summit here in Washington, D.C. Zina, thanks for joining.
Absolutely. Thank you, Luke.
Of course. So, how's everything going?
It's going fantastic. We started the day with Senator Wicker talking about graphene. I was not expecting him to actually talk about graphene. I thought he was going to talk about U.S. competitiveness, but he actually started explaining what graphene is, which is fantastic. He told us what the applications are. He told us about how graphene won the Nobel Prize. It was wonderful education. Then we started in the announcement for the Graphene Academic Council, which is a very exciting and very significant announcement that we had this time. It is a number of 7 core universities coming together under one umbrella, under the umbrella of the Graphene Academic Council of the United States, and they are there to represent a unified image for the graphene activities from the academic and research side, and to come together to create U.S. competitiveness in graphene from the research.
Excellent. And I know, I was able to catch up with some of the members of the Academic Council and hear their thoughts on what it would mean for research, but also to hear from some of the end users in the industry today. It was a surprise for me, and I think extremely valuable insights to be shared. What can you comment on that?
So we had Ford come in and talk about their work in graphene, which was fantastic because we don't have a lot of end user industries. Some of our end user industries, when they're talking or when working about graphene, they don't really talk about it that much. So we were excited to have Ford. We have Samsung amongst us. It's a great crowd. We have the end user industries, we've got the government agencies, we've got the graphene producers, we've got the graphene academic members. They're all coming together. International standard body, we had ISO, the chairman of ISO TC 229. It's a great crowd to come together under this roof and to be able to represent a unified image again for graphene for the United States.
Excellent. And what are some of the outcomes you hope might come from a session like today, where we're actually here on Capitol Hill in the Senate with U.S. legislators coming into these sessions? What do you hope to see really coming out of these as action items?
One of the problems that we have right now is that we don't have U.S. leadership in graphene, and there is a great need, and there's a dire need for us to get the U.S. government involved so that there could be support of not only graphene research, but graphene commercialization. For example, the graphene flagship from Europe with the €1 billion program, it is a European Commission funded program. We're not asking for €1 billion, but it would be great to have some sort of support that we would be able to enable some of the activities that we can in the United States so that we're not far behind, because graphene is going to be a very critical material for the future of technology and manufacturing in the long run. And we need to make sure that we create U.S. competitiveness as soon as possible in the most efficient way as possible.
And we heard from some of the factors that are driving this urgency. For example, Dr. James Torr from Rice University talking about the brain drain that we're having here and what some of that funding could really be used to bring that talent back. So it sounds like it's critically important that we begin this process.
Absolutely, it is. And this is a first step. This is a significant step for us. It's a very historic room, the Kennedy Caucus Room, with the hearings for Titanic, for Watergate, for Pearl Harbor taking place here. Graphene is a much more joyous occasion. But it's going to be just as significant. I believe that some years we're going to look back on this and say this was the start of it all.
I agree. Thanks, Zina.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, appreciate it.